Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome. So, welcome to the special sharing series on every Monday. So, as always, every Monday we invite a special guest speaker who comes with a deep uh, personal experiences, which has a life transformative effect on one's journey on the spiritual path. And today we have a very special guest, Sister Sangeeta, who comes originally from India, took Gyan in UK, and started serving Baba right from the day she took the Gyan. And she been serving Baba in Canada, in the capital city of Canada, in all the colleges and the professional places. And then she started the center there, and now she's taking care of the Baba's service, holding the fort, Baba's fort in Canada. Yeah. So most of you might have heard good experiences of lot of our Brahmin family, senior yogis. I want to recommend a mindset to hold to take the most out of this session. In today's session, Sister Sangeeta is not only going to share her personal experiences, but she's also going to make an attempt to give that experience to you. So I strongly recommend you to step into Sangeeta Ben's shoes and try to feel what she felt as she was going through this journey, and hope you take the most out of the session. Without any further ado, I invite Sister Sangeeta. Welcome.
Om Shanti. I am a last child. I've always felt like I was a last child. So Bhai said to me that there's a lot of young Brahmins new to Gyan. So I felt that I could relate, and I just wanted to share, my efforts that I still continue to do and tell you my story. But as I tell you my story, maybe I will be telling you the challenges and the efforts that I continue to make, because I am determined that even though I came last, I am determined that I'm not going to be last, and I'm going to be there with Brahma Baba and Mama in the first division. I'm not going to be left out. So I hope that, I had to inspire myself, but I am inspired. I'll tell you a little bit about my journey before, just so that you understand. And I'm also going to tell you that I churn a lot and I write. So I have made notes because I have to plan. I have to be organized. I have to organize in here, and I organize. So don't mind if I look down a little bit. It's because I like to keep myself organized, and I didn't want to forget what I wanted to share with you. So in my young childhood and my young adult life, I would say all my young adult life, I had seen a lot of challenges and a lot of obstacles in my life. And I had a lot of questions as to why there was sorrow and why life was unfair. It seemed unfair, for myself and for others in the world as well. And I grew up in a Hindu home. I didn't really read scriptures. I found I couldn't. I would open a book and close it. It was too complicated. I couldn't remember all the characters. But I did devotion, and I would fast a lot. As soon as I became a teenager, I would be fasting a lot and praying. And of course, I was praying for sorrow to finish. And I used to always go to the mandir and I always used to ask the priests for questions, for answers. And I wanted to get happiness, and I wanted to know how. And maybe I could change my fasting or my prayers or mantras and things like this. And of course, nothing was really happening. It just carried on. And then I had come to a point in my life when I had got settled. And I still was asking. I was still asking that. Okay, I had no interest. I had no interest in being involved in the way everyone else was involved, and I was still questioning sorrow. And I stopped going to the mandir, and I stopped asking questions from people and priests. And I was looking up to the sky and asking what was the point. That was specifically my question. What is the point? What is the point of everything? And I felt that in my devotion that I had come to a black curtain where I knew that God was behind there. I knew there was something behind there, but I couldn't reach it. And I couldn't do any more with my fasting and my praying. I knew that. And I was still, but I was skeptical, right? I was skeptical. I wasn't going to go to any human being. And I just was calling from my heart. And then at the beginning of 2009, my mother, my Lokik mother in the UK, had taken knowledge with the Brahma Kumaris, and she told me, I did not know who the Brahma, I was not interested in any group, and I didn't know who Brahma Kumaris were. So she told me she took Gyan, and I said, okay, that's good. And then I visited her on a trip in the summer, and she showed me pamphlets and, Murli, everything. I read it. I said, okay, it looks fine, Ma. It's fine. I just put it aside. She took me to the center. It was a meditation. Everyone was meditating. I was just looking at the walls. I just sat there. It seemed fine. I walked away and I said, okay, that's fine. I came back to Canada. And then I looked Brahma Kumaris up, and I found that there was a center in a nearby city. But I didn't look it up. I left it. I said, it's fine. But that summer, when I would be sleeping, which is our Amrit Vela, I would hear like this. But it was on my head, but not hurting, but it was like knocking on the door. And I would jump out of bed. And I thought, I would just look around. Of course, there's nobody at the door. I didn't know. It was obviously Baba waking me up, but I didn't know anything. And then 2 months later, I went back to England to help my mother for 1 week, to help her with a bhakti puja. She hadn't completely come into Gyan. She was going for meditation classes, but she was still doing she was finishing her bhakti still. So I went to help her with this particular 1 week puja. And Friday night, I was going to get on the plane. She was already asleep, but I don't know what got into me. I picked up the phone and I said to Mummy, please ask Sister Helen if she'll give me the course. I really don't know where that came from. And Sister Helen was the teacher. She's still there in the center there. So I get on the plane, I land, and then Mummy says to me, she's Saturday morning, she'll give you the course. I was at that time, now I'm so grateful that she gave me the course straight away. So I was there for 7 days. So Sunday to Sunday, every day she fit me in. She also had Lokik job, and she fit me in and gave me class every day. And I was just amazed how she was answering my questions, and she was Caucasian. I needed a Caucasian-bodied soul to give me Gyan. I was not going to go, no disrespect, I'm Indian-bodied too, but I had had enough. Like, I'd had enough of listening. So she was older than me. She looked so normal. Her house was normal. The center, I thought, there's nothing funny here. And there was a picture of an elephant. I thought, that's okay, because I was checking it out to see if there was something hokey pokey. And she was explaining everything to me about my own, Lakshmi Narayan. And she's not Indian background. I just thought, she's not making this stuff up. And she was so kind and soft and gentle. I thought, she can't make this up. It's impossible. And as I was doing the course, jigsaw piece puzzles of my life, the answers were coming together. It was just like, I had this before, and everything was coming together. And it was like, connect the dots. When you connect the dots, I just felt that everything was coming together. And when we were doing this cycle, I really felt that I had done it before. I had never seen the cycle before, but it felt so familiar. And I had so many experiences when I saw the cycle. Now, remember, I have no knowledge of any of this. I don't know what Raja Yoga is. I don't know anything. And when I was doing the cycle, that black curtain, first I saw myself doing it before, like it seemed like to me in my previous life, because I was another little girl. And the black curtain also opened. I couldn't believe it. The black curtain also opened. And in front of me, like I was standing on a path, and the path was, the curtain opened. I'm standing on my path, and here my path was being shown to me. And I could go towards the right or the left. It was all golden. It was all very light, very, very light. And it was like the path on the right was being brushed for me. Do I want to go? And all of a sudden, it was clarity. I could just see, well, I didn't know where I was going, but it was just a visual. And I heard Baba. It was really in my thoughts. And really, I've never had any of these kinds of things before. I felt Baba. At that time, I couldn't say Baba, but God. I felt God, because I had cried a lot. I had cried a lot prior to Gyan. I felt God say to me, I couldn't take you earlier. And now you're with me. I still kind of feel, I just felt like he had picked me up and put me in his lap. And like I said, I just didn't know what was going on, but I just knew that he had heard me. And then the last day, I was so grateful for my teacher. I was so grateful that she didn't say no. She just fit me in. And the last day of being at the center for 7 days was the first Bapdada's Milan in October. And I remember it clearly. I was so excited. I didn't know what I was going to see. And I was just jumping around different seats to get the best view from her little TV, like you do in Madhuban, try and get the best seat, or you think you're trying to get the best seat. And after the Milan, it was 5 p.m. It was 5 p.m. UK time. I said, I'm doing this. And it was like a switch went on. I felt like I was in a different era. I felt like I had left the Iron Age. Of course, I didn't know these terms very well. I didn't know Gyan of course, I had just only taken the course, but I felt that I had stepped out, and I knew I was doing it. Like I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I was doing whatever I had to do. And she had covered, Sattvic life and all of that. It wasn't a problem. And my mother said, "How can you do this?" And I said, "I'm doing it." So instantly I just did it. And I started going. I called the center. Because I called this nearby center, and it was a Gita Patshala. Really, there was a brother and a sister, and they only did Sunday Murli. That's all they. That's what they did. And so I had come back on a Monday. I'd come back on a Monday, and the following Sunday, I started going. I never stopped. Unless I was physically not in Ottawa. I never stopped. And it was small. And there was nobody there. There was a couple that had become Brahmin from the Indian embassy here, but they were there for just a short time. So my upbringing, I mean, the brother and the sister that were running the Gita Patshala, it was called a center. They were very good, but I was kind of learning by myself, and Sister Denise was the national coordinator in Canada at the time, and she was the coordinator in Toronto. So I consider her my senior, and she allowed me to have Murlis, which I was so grateful for. And one of the things I wanted to tell you and share with you was when I had taken Gyan and I had started going and the Murlis, one of the challenges for me was the repetition of the cycle. I don't know if it's been like that for you, but at the beginning, the fact that it repeats identically. Now, I accepted it. For me, all of this knowledge, none of it is a problem. I accept it. Yes, I want clarification. I want to go deeper, absolutely. But it bothered me a lot that I couldn't change my lokic life, this lokic life that I knew about, and the repetition of negative karma. And I couldn't bear to have it repeated. And it really troubled me. And this was troubling me before I had gone into Gyan, because with my Indian background, I knew the law of karma, not as well as I do now, but I knew it. And I felt, and I could never blame anyone for the obstacles and challenges in my non-Gyani life, because I knew that it had to come to me. But it bothered me because I didn't feel like I had done anything, and I didn't feel that I could do something like that, so it just bothered me. And I had to understand it, and I had to accept it, and I had to walk away from it. And what I did was I did a lot of talking with Baba. I did a lot of tapasya with Baba. And I found that with time, Baba was answering me. He was answering me in the Murlis. And I would say to you, throughout the years, I've just got deeper and deeper answers about the cycle repeating, and about that even the hardship, I'm going to leave the cycle happy. That's what my aim was, that I want to leave the cycle happy. I want to be happy about the Iron Age, even whatever my part is in the Iron Age. I want to leave happy, that when I leave, I'll know everything, and I'll happily come back to it. I wanted to be at that stage. And I found that Baba was teaching me that the Iron Age kind of shows you, or by the time you get to Baba, is we learn what our weaknesses are. We learn what our weak sanskars are, what we are lacking in terms of virtues and powers and values. And I realized I had to experience the Iron Age, and I had to learn I have to learn what others go through, especially if I'm going to be an instrument. If I don't know what other people go through, how can I ever help them? And I had to use Baba's Gyan to turn everything around. And I realized also that all of that led me to Baba because I put all my efforts into devotion because I didn't know what else to do. It led me to Baba. Otherwise, if I had been really happy, maybe I wouldn't have come to Baba. And it made me pakka, pakka. It made me firm straight away, like all that, because I thought, I'm never gonna go back to that, So I was just like my Shudra experience, that's it, that's enough. I'm now moving with Baba in the confluence age. And so in a way, it's of benefit. I realize I see the benefit because it was training. And actually, Sister Denise had said to me, it was your training. And I looked at it in a different way when she said that, mentioned that to me. And it was training because I wouldn't know what the Iron Age is otherwise. I wouldn't know. And I really wouldn't be able to help anyone. And truly, I understood what my weaknesses were, because if I had certain sanskars, I would have handled things differently. So I decided very, very firmly that I calculated out of 5,000 years, if those years were the worst of my life, like the worst of the last of my life, I calculated that it was less than 0.01%. So in the big picture, it's not a big deal, right? It's not a big deal. And I have the power now in Gyan with Baba, with my yoga and my tapasya and my dharana. I have the power now to make the present fabulous, tomorrow fabulous, gorgeous, and the whole of my cycle, not just the gold and the silver, but my copper and iron to be just gorgeous. I just thought, no, now the destiny is in my control. And this little bit is the worst of it. It's the worst of it. Everything else is going to be fabulous. And I'm going to make myself so strong in my character of values and virtues, my powers, that when I get to the copper age, gold and silver will be fine. No problem. I have no problem. Copper and iron, I'm going to be such a strong light bulb that the darkness will not set in. No, the darkness, I will be able to maneuver the copper and iron age. I will be able to control my lives then as well. So I go with this determination that I am now going to make a huge difference in myself for living now, living tomorrow, and the future. And I'm going to come back without any regrets. I'm going to leave without any regrets. And truly, in hindsight, it wasn't really that bad. It wasn't really that bad, especially when I look at what is going on with humanity right now. I am so fortunate and so blessed, really, really blessed, because I have this, and I wasn't touched in any way. It was just the sorrow that was in here. And I put a lot of love and a lot of forgiveness and a lot of respect and dignity into myself and into the situations as well. And and I practiced, and I'm giving all the credit to Sister Denise, and I know that she is with you. I think that she's with you. I wanted to share a particular meditation that I learned pretty early, actually. And I had left Madhuban, and I was in Mumbai airport in the middle of the night. All the planes go in the middle of the night. And I was with the national coordinator of Mexico. Her name escapes me now. Beautiful soul. So we were coming back towards the west. And she shared with me in the middle of the night when we were sitting in the airport that this meditation that Sister Denise had taught their group on forgiveness. And I never forgot it. And I do it every now and then. I did it a lot at the beginning, and I still do sometimes, and I share it with students as well. So I wondered if I could share it with you, and maybe you've already done it with Sister Denise, but I thought it's a good reminder if you'd like to do that, So it's very much, you're very much conscious, okay? You're very much conscious, and you may want to think of someone that you'd like to neutralize with, okay? Neutralize with. And don't pick something that's difficult. Like if it's something, not a very, very difficult or very painful, something that's still very raw. Don't pick something like that. If you don't not, we can talk about it later, but pick something that maybe someone that there's some clashes with, some scars, and you'd like to neutralize, okay? Do it when we're going through this exercise. It's really an exercise, but it is good for ourselves. Without emotion, no emotion, okay? Completely detached as a detached observer of yourself and that situation, and keep maturity, respect, and dignity for yourself and that soul also, okay? And with love and kindness and with complete sincerity from the depth of your heart. This does not work if it's not sincere. It does not work like if you do it like a mantra, repetition, and it has to be sincere. So you have to be kind of ready for it, but it does come, it becomes stronger. You have to mean it. Okay? And you have to be firm with yourself, firm resolve and discipline, like discipline as well, okay? Now, we're not going into the scenario. I'm sure the scenario, you have analyzed it a lot, and you have, overanalyzed it, and it doesn't really matter. We're not going into the analysis, and we're not reliving it. Either. We're just going to be very detached, very loving, very mature, like a mother and a father in the situation, okay? So I don't know, Harsha, if you want to put up, yeah, okay. So we're going to bring Baba. Baba, I'm going to ask for forgiveness. Baba, I'd like you to sit with me, Baba, while I go through this process. I'm going to bring that soul in front of me, just to remember the soul, not to go into too much detail. And we're going to do 5 steps with this forgiveness. Baba is right next to me as my support, my companion, complete strength. To this soul, I say, please forgive me for whatever I have done to you and your contact souls. Again, please forgive me for whatever I have done to you in this life or previous lives. Second, 2, I forgive you for hurting me. Okay. Second sentence, I forgive you for hurting me. Number 3, Baba, forgive me for causing pain to this soul. Guide me so that I do not do it again. 4, I forgive myself for getting into this account. I forgive myself for getting into this account. 5, from now on, sweet soul, our account is over. It's finished. I wish you the very best. Okay. From now on, beautiful soul, our negative account is over. It's done. It's finished. I wish you the very best. Okay? It's very simple. It's very simple. Just five affirmations, 5 statements, but you're doing it very, very sincerely. It could be with a soul from the past. It could be with a soul that has left the body and is somewhere else. It could be with a soul that has moved to another part of the world. They're no longer in your life, but you're still remembering. There is a link of sorrow with that soul. It could be someone that is in your life, in your family, or at work. So do this on a regular basis, especially in the evening, with evening meditation, on a regular basis for 2 or 3 weeks. And if morning time is also good before going to work, maybe, okay, if you see that person. If that person is in your direct life, whenever you see that person, that soul, just wish that this, just say it to them. Not with staring, but just, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Baba, forgive me. I forgive myself, and this is now over. Just be firm. Whenever and if ever you recall it, you always say to yourself, "No, I'm done. It's over." Because the mind will remind you, right? Or it'll remind you that, okay, no. But no, you say, it's over. You say this to yourself, it's over. It's done. It's finished. Okay? So this is just a little exercise, but I have found it worked. It helped me neutralize. I don't reanalyze. Now, we do need to learn from things. Whatever has happened, we do need to learn. And Baba's Gyan is so beautiful. It's so wonderful to help us learn exactly about the cycle, about the drama, about souls and sanskars. And we can use Baba's Gyan to neutralize and understand and accept, and let it go. And let it go. We have to let it go, because if we don't let it go, we hurt ourselves. Yes? Okay, so hopefully you found, just remember that maybe, and I hope it helps you. I thought that I would touch on meditation, and I had no teaching on meditation because I had done the course so quickly. It was an hour and a half every day. And then that was it. That was it. And we didn't really cover meditation at all. And I found it such a complicated word. I thought it's so difficult. What does it mean to meditate? And I really didn't know what to do. Because I'm by myself, right? And there was, I didn't do commentaries. I just felt that I didn't want to, I know at that time I thought, no, what do I do? What do I do? And I went, I didn't know where to go in my place. I went to my walk-in closet because it was the quietest place and it was the furthest away from everything, electronics, TV, everything. And I went into my walk-in closet and I just sat there and I moved some of the clothes apart, and I had the lights off because I had to do open-eyed meditation and my eyes would hurt with the light on. So, and I would just stare at the wall, and I just stared at the wall. And then all I knew was how to talk to God, because before I had prayed, so I had always talked to God, and I still do. But now I was talking in Man Manavav, right? The right knowledge of the soul and the supreme soul. And all I did was talk to him. I just told him everything because I didn't know what else to do. So I just told him my whole life story, because we're supposed to do that anyway, right? Tell him everything, because this is a new relationship where I had been an orphan, and now I'm in God's lap. So I just told him everything, and I would just tell him my sorrows, my disappointments, my anger, my everything. And after an hour, I was exhausted. Every time I remember, after about an hour, I was exhausted. And then I just would get up and get out of my closet. And then it seemed like I did that for months. It seemed like it was months. It seemed like it was like a year. And then one day, and what I was doing, I was just telling him everything. And one day I realized that I wasn't talking anymore. I really was not talking. I was just silent. And the light was there. I thought my eyes were being funny, but the light was there, and I just knew I was connected. I was just silent. And I realized what yoga was, that yoga was, we do have to have talking with Baba. We have many different types of relationships with Baba. But then I realized what yoga was, that silent yoga. And I love it. I love it. I crave it. I just want to be silent with Baba. And at the beginning, and even now, I continue this. I keep Baba in all relationships. And he was my beloved, the father, the teacher. I'd keep one prominent one, and then through the day, I would use different relationships. And I used to be a bit cheeky because, Baba says, I'm the same for all the children, right? I give everyone the same. But I said, no, you're my private tutor. I'm going to make you my private tutor. And I used to make him my director at work. I used to make him my colleague at work, because at work I'd get questions and I would know the answers. And I would say, Baba, you know more than me. You're my director. And I just used him. And I still do in relationships, and I'm silent. And when I need some help, I just go pause. I become silent with Baba just for a split second, and I say, "Okay, Baba, you and I are going to figure it out." So I just do everything with Baba. Let's go to work, Baba. Let's eat together. I'm always eating. Let's drive together. And I felt that this relationship throughout the day helped me check myself. I have a companion all the time, and I'm always in natural check, correct, and change, because it's like, well, Baba wouldn't want me to think like this. Baba wouldn't want me to talk like this. And it helps when you do this check, correct, and change all through the day, and you keep Baba in your relationships, that when you want that silent yoga with Baba, it is possible. It is possible. So I'm just thinking, yeah. And what I realized was that as the quality of my yoga got better as I cleaned up my sanskars. Now, I'm still doing that. Of course, I'm still doing that. But as I started checking myself and changing myself and correcting myself, the chatter, the noise, and the traffic in here, as that I started to calm that down, turn it around, steer it, control it, break it, I realized that I was getting on more close to Baba. And so it helped me in my yoga, and it helped me understand Baba as well. Because for me, the Murli is very, very important. These are God's words, and everything, all the answers are in there. And the Murlis are so, so deep, right? One sentence, we can talk for an hour. So I found that my check, correct, and change helped me get closer to Baba in yoga, and in understanding Gyan as well. So these were my yuktis, and I'm still doing it. And I know that I have to carry on, because as we do our gross layers, the layers that are at the top, then the other layers that are from other lives are there that pop up also, right? I wanted to mention about the service. There was no service in Ottawa at the time, and I was encouraged to do service, and I wasn't even 2 years in Gyan, and I was a bit concerned that I really don't know anything, and how was I supposed to do this? And I really did not want to do disservice. But the brother and the sister that were at that center, they said, no, you can do it. And I thought, okay, I wasn't thinking about it. They told me. And then soon after, I went on a motherland trip, and I was searching for a senior to ask their advice. And what should I do? What should I do to prepare myself? And should I really do this? And because service was not in my agenda, because I had found God and I didn't need anything else. I had found God. I had the Murlis. I had yoga. I knew what I had to do for myself. I never thought that I would do service. And then like I said, I was searching, actually. You can tell Sister Denise. I was actually searching for Sister Denise because she was there. And I couldn't get close to her because, like I said, she was our coordinator here. So then, Baba, right? I ended up in Dadi Janki's office, in her study. Story, I won't go into it, but I just ended up there, and it was such a beautiful, personal, lovely meeting. She asked about, my mother was with me. My mother is in Gyan now. How we were doing, were we allowed to practice and everything. And she said, do you have any questions? So of course I asked her, I said, well, I've been asked to teach, but I don't know if I can be a good teacher. And what would be your advice? And she said to me, and she had the Murli in her hand, the Murli of the day in her hand. And she said to me, well, it's in the Murli. She said, if you want to be a good teacher, you have to pass in all 4 subjects. And that just stuck to me. You have to pass in all 4 subjects. I thought, okay. And we know Gyan, Yoga, Dharana, and Seva. Seva was there. And then I remembered that, and I thought, okay. And then I did start, just like brother said, I started giving course in people's homes. I just read the Murli when Baba said, go to people's homes, go to people's offices, go here, take a projector. I just followed whatever was in the Murli. And I was like the Avon lady, with a little briefcase, driving all around the city. And then a couple of years later, I was on a retreat with Anthony Strano, Brother Anthony. And by that time, I was working in rehab in the hospital, and it was medical rehab, surgical rehab, psychological, psychiatry rehab. And I really saw the worst of the worst. And this is now in my 3rd year of Gyan. And people that could only operate their life through a straw. And it really gave me the power to face and not be sensitive. And I asked Brother Anthony the same question, like kind of similar question: how do I serve, and how do I pick service? And he said to me, he said, Sangeeta, you do not have to pick service. You do not have to choose service. You have to just maintain your stage. And your stage is more important. And Baba will send you the service. It'll come to you. And whatever has to be done will be done. So that's what you need to focus on. Don't look at how to do service and who to target. And I just felt it made it a lot easier. And to me, it connected completely with what Dadi Janki had said as well about service. So I thought, no, it's my stage. It's my stage. And I can only get to my stage by doing the 4 subjects. And if you look now, the service now is Mansa Sewa, isn't it? It's Mansa Sewa. The service now for the children that come at the end, what are we going to do? We are spread all over the world, and we're not all together, but we're kind of virtually together. This is like the subtle region, isn't it? Like being together. We are connected to each other, but we have to serve wherever we are. We have to serve all of humanity, right? And it has to be through our stage. And anyway, I just found it very, very helpful. And I just decided that with service, I just thought, okay, all right, I'm not going to look at numbers, and I'm not going to look at numbers. If even one person is helped, I will. It's worth it. Even if one person is helped, I'm going to do it. And there were personal challenges. There were personal challenges coming, doing service, because I had come so late in Gyan, and I had no big personal experience. I had, of dadis or seniors or Brahmins. I was going to Madhuban every year at that time. And I was kind of getting like an inferiority complex, because I thought, well, I don't know anything. I haven't been trained. And I just didn't feel confident. I didn't feel confident. I didn't really have Brahmins around me. And there were, but I did have support. I mean, you don't just do these things. I did, there were seniors, the national coordinators and everyone. They were helping. They had given me approval and everything. But as I was going deeper into service, there were obstacles and challenges. I won't go into them. There was big drama. It seemed like big drama. And it really made me wonder, what was the point of this, and should I continue? And remember, Ottawa is the capital of the country, and there isn't a center here. But there wasn't at that time. And for east to west, there was. And I thought, what is the problem here? Like, what is the problem with this area? And again, the challenges and the obstacles, again, the Murlis. There was Baba in the Murlis saying, you're to ignore all of this. You're to ignore what other people say or do. You're doing it for me. You're doing it for me. Every day he was kind of, just saying, you're doing it for me and you're answering to me. So I just would carry on. And I think persistence is one of my qualities, or determining. I think I'm determined. And the fact that I can start with nothing, because I have started with nothing a few times. So I just did, my teacher had inspired me, and the dadis always inspired me. The dadis, Brahma Baba inspired me, Mama inspired me. And I just thought, well, they just did. They didn't know. And they did. And whatever Shiv Baba said, they did. So I just took inspiration and courage. And I just thought I had to believe in myself and not compare myself. and put myself down, you know. And I thought, okay, whatever Baba wants me to do, he wants me to do. I remembered what Brother Anthony had said. And I said, no, I have to be persistent and determined, and I have to have trust in myself. I have to have courage in myself, and I have to have faith in myself. And I thought, okay, I also need that trust and that faith and courage in Mother Drama and in Baba. And if he wants this, then he'll make it happen. So I just stayed with Karan Karawan Har, and I'm Karan Har. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And he's gonna have it done. So I just did that, you know, I just did that with service. I thought, do you want to stop? Let's see what the time is. I don't want to make it to it. Bhai, you'll have to tell me. Can I do can we do a meditation?
Yeah. We can do a meditation now.
We can do a meditation. Okay. And afterwards, I won't be talking too much, I don't think. It's more my dharna, but so let's do a meditation. Okay, that was kind of my sharing, and I'll talk a little bit about my dharna later that I'm working on my efforts. But let's do a meditation, which is more about ourselves, just to sit very, very comfortably. I'm sure your back is upright, and just relax, just relax. Take some slow, deep breaths, really steady, slow. And with every breath, just breathe in peace. Exhale the fatigue in the body. Just relax. And just for this moment, we'll detach from the sounds around ourselves and detach from the surroundings in my room. I'm going to sit in the consciousness that I am a soul. I am a soul with my angelic body of light, and with my angelic body, I'm sitting in the physical costume of the body. I am a beautiful, sparkling, white star behind my forehead. I radiate pure, divine, angelic light. This light is full of love, peace, joy. This light from I, the soul, is filling every cell of my body. Starting at my toes, I relax my toes. I relax my feet, the soles of my feet. I let all stress and fatigue flow out of my toes. I replace this fatigue, any tension, tiredness with my angelic light. This beautiful shining light is filling my feet, my toes. It's as if I cannot feel my physical feet. They're there, that they're full of this angelic light, healing light. I move this light up my ankles, up my legs, through my knees. My legs are completely relaxed. Completely relaxed. Full of this divine light. Peaceful, calm. This white light, I have it move to my hips, to my back, through my spine, through every joint. This light, my light, it's cooling, it's relaxing, it's a calming energy. I have this light float up my back, through my shoulders, neutralizing any ache or pain of the body. I feel completely light, shining light. I have this light move up my upper back into my neck, to the back of my head. I release all tightness. My angelic light melts my fatigue and pain. It fills my face. I relax my face. I relax my jaw, my eyes, my forehead. I move this light through my arms, through my fingers. All my body consciousness flows out of my fingertips. I am still. I am at peace. My every cell of my body is peaceful. I am completely relaxed in my being, relaxed as a soul. I am relaxed in the energy of my pure divine light. I am relaxed in my angelic body of light. This light of love, peace, and joy fills me and it radiates out into the universe. Om Shanti. I can just I hope that was a little bit relaxing, maybe a little fast, hopefully not too fast. I'll just tell you a little bit about dharana, just looking at time. I really, like I said, I kind of grumbled with Baba at the beginning that why he took me at the end. I really felt like he had left me out and I did grumble, but then I stopped because I realized that there was so much benefit. There's actually a lot of benefit of coming at the end, and everything is ready for us, right? We have all the dadis classes, the seniors, and we have Sister Didi Mohini right on this side of the continent, giving us classes every day. We have the points of Murlis are refined, and everything is ready for us, on a plate. And we just have to make intense effort, really make intense effort with our time, thoughts, and words. And I just had to stop, with having this chip on my shoulder and complaining, because I did feel a bit sad. Again, looking at, so many people had experiences with dadis, and I did have some experience. At least I did have some. I was able to go to Madhuban, I think 10 times, but I still felt that I could have done more. But I realized that no, I have to make intense effort. I cannot waste my time. And I was really unwilling to accept capacity, like according to capacity. I thought, no, I'm going to make sure my capacity is really, really high, and I'm not going to be limited. And so I just increased my effort. I increased my effort to increase my capacity. And I'm always doing check, correct, and change, always. And I'm always looking at my layers and having business meetings with myself, with Baba, talking a lot with Baba. And I really I know that even though we don't have Dadi Gulzar and we don't have fresh Murlis, but it doesn't matter. Every Murli that we get is a direct teaching from God. And Baba is definitely watching our internal efforts and what we are working on. Because I say to Baba, I want to work on these qualities. And he's teaching me, he's teaching all of us. We just have to be receptive to it. He's really teaching us, and we have to understand the Murlis. And one of the things I always look at for myself is, am I complaining, criticizing, competing, and comparing? These 4 C's. This is my check, correct, and change, because generally they're in there when we are, our mood is off. Complaining, criticizing, competing, comparing. I also look at my belief systems. How is my belief system different to someone else's? And this is also with Brahmin souls, right? Because we can disagree about things or not see things the same way. And even with lokics at work, family. So how are my belief systems different? My expectations, my perceptions, my judgments, and this righteousness, this attachment to being a Brahmin or attachment to Gyan. And where is my algae hiding? Algae, anger, lust, greed, attachment, ego. Where is it hiding? I really like to delve into that because I want to know that, and my attachments. And I also look at, am I following the spiritual laws correctly? because I do not want to get myself into trouble anymore, in terms of my thoughts, words and actions, attitude, drishti, everything. So in my check, correct and change, I'm also looking at my spiritual laws too. And I always, when I'm not getting it, when my dharana, I'm not happy, I'm always asking myself, what aspect of Gyan am I not understanding or I am not using? Because in Gyan, Baba's Murlis, he's given us the answer to everything. The Avyakt Murlis are all about how to, right? So it's all about dharana and seva. So I'm always going back to Baba always that, and I'm not, because I realize I'm not using something and I'm not fully understanding something. So, and I decided for my dharana that I'm not going to battle. I'm not going to battle anymore about past, present, or future. And whatever comes in front of me or inside my mind, I'm going to sort it out. I'm not going to battle. I'm going to face it, and I'm going to sort it out. And I always work on some kind, 2 or 3 things, about myself that I feel like I need to empower. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I also had prepared another little commentary if you'd like, but with time, if I need to stop, I can stop, Harsha Pai, but whatever you say.
Yeah, we have another 20 more minutes.
We have 20 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's quickly check in if anyone have any questions, comments.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah. So it's really beautiful sharing, Sangeeta Ben. And I definitely want to point out that you have definitely intensified your effort on this path, and you have a Lokik job like every one of us, and then you're running a center, you have you have taken extra workload. In other words, right, you increase the volume of effort, right? And it goes long ways. So I just want to point it out for those who are here. If anyone have any questions, comments, feel free to unmute yourself. Let me give a try. Yeah, now you should be able to unmute. Anyone have any questions? Feel free to unmute.
Om Shanti Devi. It was a very, very good lecture. And Devi, a small question. What do you think about it, that suffering in this cycle, it will be repeated in each and every cycle again and again?
And this is, yes. And, that's why, that was something that I had to grow, like I had to get a handle on it, and it is going to, but really, honestly, if I can get through it, you can get through it. I have the balance of East and West because I've lived in both, both cultures. I Lokik experience, because I came late into this, right? So I have full Lokik experience. And so suffering, I think, it's the Iron Age. Don't take it, even though you would have gone through some sorrow, everyone's gone through it. Everyone has. It's just that everyone has different types of suffering. Okay. So and that's what it is. And it's just that what we experience is so painful and it's so horrible. And but honestly, I'm like I interact with a lot of souls in Lokik and in through classes, and I've seen really sorrow, like in the hospital. It's like, and you can see the Iron Age, but as soon as we have this knowledge, sister, Behan, we can turn it around. You can turn it around. And it's just part of the Iron Age, it's part of being tired. When souls are tired, when children are in a playground and they've been playing all day. They've been playing all day. At the beginning, they played very happily, you know, in the park. And then by the end of the day, they're not leaving the park. So they're getting tired. And when they're getting tired, there's some pushing and shoving and crankiness and hurt, you know, going on. And that's what happens in the Iron Age, that we all get tired and then we all kind of become maybe a little careless, and we create karma. You know, we create karma for ourselves, and then it comes back. But now that if you have taken the foundation course, you know, if you're following this, now take it lightly. Don't dwell on it. Don't dwell on it. You know, that, oh, it's going to repeat and I'm going to be tortured again. Don't. You're out of it. Look at yourself now. Now what you have to do is look at yourself now. You're out of it. You have the knowledge. You have Baba. You know, you have Yog. And so many souls don't. You know, they don't. And they continue, you know. So now just take everything as a learning experience and be so intoxicated and happy that every cycle, God is going to pick you up.
Yeah.
God is going to pick you up. Every cycle, he's going to pick you up. And every cycle, you're going to move into happiness, you know? So, you know, yeah, I you know, like I said, I did too, like at the beginning. It was like, can I not change it? Can I not change it? You know, but be positive now. Now be positive. And just to me, the law of karma, I'm being completely honest with you, was like swallowing a laddu, you know, a laddu or a chocolate, sweet, but full of broken glass. I really felt it was like that. It was like bitter medicine, the law of karma, you know, because that's what it is, you know. And I knew that I had to swallow it and digest it and accept it. But the law of karma also is that I can change my life around completely, right? The scissors are to cut sorrow is in my hands. And if I'm in a cage, let's say my life, I was in a cage, right? Now I realize that the key is inside the cage to unlock it, not outside. Before it was outside. You know, so now you turn it around. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Didi. And one more question, that for supposing in Satyug, when Devi Devata, so in that case, all souls are pure, right? All souls, they are Sampuran, we can say.
Yes.
And after that, it's only the karma on which the variations, so many variations, so many sufferings, and all pure souls they were. And then they divergent. The divergence is so big.
Yes.
So that means that is all karma.
Well, what happens is that all souls are coming down pure in Satyug, but the power, the percentage of purity, you know, the power and the purity can be different. This is where we have number-wise, you know, number-wise is in the soul, okay?
Yes.
During the golden and silver age, we don't need to use a lot of our power, you know, and a lot of thinking, because everything is very easy. It's very, very easy. And in it's like the morning, afternoon, evening, night, you know, going around the cycle, morning, afternoon, evening, night. So we don't use a lot of our power. And so, but when we get into the copper age, because we become body conscious, we start going into negative karma, body consciousness. And then depending on the character that I had built up, you know, in the confluence age, depending on how much I built strong, I will be influenced, like influenced more.
Okay.
So this is why we need to become very, very strong in the confluence age, not just for the gold and silver, but the copper and iron. And so we get influenced. And when we get influenced, we start to get tired. And, from basically playing in the playground for so long. And by playing and getting tired, we become careless and we slip up. And then we start having our, likes and dislikes. And then we start going in different things, and that's how it happens. And we're all individual. We're all individual thinkers. So we will go into different things.
Okay, different individuals, right?
Yes. And but I feel that if our sanskars are the pure sanskars, and our virtues, our values, our powers, this is the time to really make them as strong and strong and strong, because then we won't succumb so much to the copper and the iron age, nor the iron age. Yes. And Baba says, you've been happy. Baba always says, we only and it's true. Of course, it's true what Baba says. We remember the sorrow so much because we're in the sorrow and we're surrounded by sorrow. Yes. We forget. We have forgotten that the majority of our lives we have been happy. The majority of our lives, and this is just the end of the movie, when there's a little bit of climax and a bit of drama, but we've been happy. And you must remember that.
Yes, thank you, dear. Thank you, too.
You're welcome. Om Shanti.
Anyone have any questions? It's really nice, Sangeeta, when you're pointing out the importance of how much we take in the confluence age.
Yes.
Yeah, and then consciously that works through our copper and iron ages. That
it does.
What helps us to get through. Yeah, it's beautiful.
For me, I just felt that, gold and silver is going to be easy, but how am I going to make my copper and iron easy? And Baba says all the time, this work is for the whole cycle. And it's only now. And even if we only have we're the last, we only have a little bit of the confluence age left. I really feel that if we are very, very determined and we do not waste our time, we can really accelerate and catch up. Just like in school, people catch up in a race, but we must be confident. We must be confident, because it's very easy to write ourselves off. Be very, very confident, and everything is around us to help us in this journey.
Oh, thank you. So if you can have some meditation, and if you can take us through Madhuban or some other personal experience that you had with dadis.
Okay, you want that? Okay, sure.
Go through that experience as slow as you can, so that
as slow as I can. Okay, so yes, all right. Okay, so let's.
So we can do a meditation if you want. I can put a slide.
Sure. Okay, I can do it. I can share the experience of Madhuban. Yes.
So remember that experience, and then you can take us through the meditation.
Sure. Okay. When I first went to Madhuban, my first trip, I was so excited. I had come home. I felt I had come home. It was God's home. And in my first meeting, when it was the meeting in the big diamond hall, There was thousands and thousands of people. It was a very big gathering. And I looked at all the souls. I stood up and I looked at all of us. This was before the meeting. I looked at all the souls. And I thought, we are all different, but we all love the same one. We are all different, but we have this common feeling, this common love, where we love the same one. And at that moment, Baba downloaded a thought in me. I love every child equally. I will never forget that. God says, I love every child equally. And I remember sitting at the meeting, and the meeting was nearly over. And I was just looking at Dadi Janki giving Toli to Bap Dada. And all of a sudden, this electric power came to my eyes. It was strong, powerful drishti from God. I could never have imagined it. It didn't hurt. It was pleasant, but it was powerful, like electricity going through my eyes. I was dodging it. I didn't know what it was. I dodged it, but it kept following me. It kept following my head into my eyes. I felt amazing. Baba recognized me. Baba saw me. I couldn't believe it. It made me realize truly Baba knows each and every child. He loves every child equally. He knows where his children are. He picks them up from all corners of the world. Every day, Baba gives us a love letter. Every day, Baba says, you are my sweetest. You are my beloved. You are my long lost, now found child. The Dadis, the embodiment of love, oozing with love. Dadi Janki, oozing with love, guidance, teaching, encouraging. She was so beautiful. And Dadi Gulzar too, humble, quiet, interested. Sweet and soft, stepping into the Dadi's cottage, there was the silence, complete silence. You could taste it without them being in the room while we were waiting for them. It was the silence of deep silence of the subtle region. Even the soul world, it was so silent. They were so kind, so interested, so supportive. And they always said, wherever you are, you will reveal the Father. All the children everywhere, in every corner of the world, we are here to reveal the Father. We are here to be Baba's angels. We are here to enjoy Baba. The confluence age is for experiencing Baba. Knowing who he is, being with him, yoga with him. This is the joy of the confluence age. We know the past, the present, the future. We know our Heavenly Father. The bliss is of now. The family is beautiful. Everyone's beautiful. The joy of the family. The joy of my blessed holy life. This is a gift. It's a beautiful gift. And Madhuban is our home, even if we are far, far away. Brahma Baba and Shiv Baba, all the Dadis, every one of them, all our seniors, they're all watching us and subtly guiding us. We take this love and support and follow in their footsteps, enjoying this spiritual, holy life. Om Shanti.